Okay, apologize for the late start today. It is Thursday, January 29th. It is the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Selectmen, and it is now 8:49 a.m. In front of you, you have this morning's agenda. Do we have any additions or corrections?
Nope.
Okay. So all those in favor of the agenda?
Aye.
It's unanimous. Minutes from the meeting of January 20th and well, let's do January 20th first. Do I have any additions or corrections?
None here.
Nope.
Could I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous. And then the January 22nd minutes.
None here.
Okay. Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous. Public comments. Members of the public are welcome to provide comments to the Board of Selectmen on agenda topics scheduled for review and or vote. Comments submitted electronically should be sent to the following email address: bosdistribution@newcanaanct.gov. Do I have anyone wishing? Nope, seeing none. We are now looking at the Board of Selectmen's final review and vote on all the both town and Board of Education. Well, the town's operating and capital, the Board of Education's capital only. So I guess let's start it off. We are in, I think the overall right now where we are is troubling for me personally. We have a town, the town operating expenses we've gotten it down to 2% year over year. The Board of Ed operating, both are including insurance. So we're at 3.9. But with all the contingency, and that's still taking in 5 million from the from our fund balance to help offset. Right now, the amount to be raised to amount to be collected through taxation is at 6.2% year over year, which is not a sustainable number.
No,
we can't be there at the end of the day. So we've got to either, send a strong message to the Board of Finance and Town Council that there's a lot of work to be done here. Because since we don't touch Board of Ed operating, we can't do anything there, and we're at 2% on town operating. So, I guess we could, I don't know if we just
look. Everybody put forth very thoughtful presentations, and I'm very impressed with how everyone detailed all their expenses. And we do know that many of them are contractual, but the overall message is it's just too much of an increase for we feel for people in the town. And what we would hope the Board of Finance can do is to work to bring that down a percentage and a half, and roughly speaking, every, and this is rough, every $800,000 of operating expenses is about 0.5%, about right. And as it breaks down now with the budget, and I kind of did this morning, this expenditures between town and Board of Ed, fully loaded with their debt service and their healthcare expenses, is approximately, if I did it right, 68 and 32%. So obviously the Board of Ed is very people driven. We know that, we understand it. They do a fabulous job. But to the extent that both parties can really sharpen their pencils and help us find, if you find $1.6 million savings in the operating budget, that drops what we have to raise by 1%. So you can kind of just roughly go off of that, which really would mean people scrub it and think really hard about the must-haves versus nice-to-haves. And it would still, with that, be clear, there would be across the board, we would be spending more across the board. We would be funding the Board of Ed more. We would be funding town operations more. And we know it's hard choices, right? And this is not even getting into the capital side of it. So that's kind of where we are. And again, incredible work and everybody laying out their expenses and justifying their expenses. It's just a lot, and it's a lot for all taxpayers, whether your kids in school or not in school. And those of us kids aren't in school are delighted to support our schools because that's what we are about. So, right. It's sobering.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I just want to confirm, so we have officially taken out the east parking lot.
That's capital. We're going.
No, I know.
capital.
I want to make sure we're all so whatever we're sending forward.
Yes. Ryan reached out to Sean yesterday and confirmed everything on the Board of Ed.
Okay.
The capital and what was coming and what was
Okay.
staying. So they have a confirmation there.
All right. So let's.
And as we get further in the budget process, we're super early, right?
Yeah.
The Board of Finance has the next month, right? And then Town Council pretty much has a month after that. And then, we really, the mill rate doesn't get established till we're much closer to the end of the year. Is there, might there be any other resources that the other bodies we would look at that might offset some of these expenses going forward?
So there are two areas we do typically look at is when we get to bonding, but we don't know that until we bond in March.
Right.
So we won't know that number if there's one there. The other number.
So we'll get something, we don't know how much.
If we get something, if there's,
if there's
a
premium
propensity for it in the market at that time.
Yeah.
The other item that we look at is tax supported capital.
Mhm.
So what we do now is we're going through tax supported capital, current tax supported capital. What projects are there? What are done? What's remaining? What can be given back? So any of these tax supported capital that the requests are in right now, we can pull them out and use.
Offset what we've already previously. Okay.
Funds.
When will we have that through the Board of Finance?
The Board of Finance, it usually
Okay.
gets through that when we go through the different departments and the other.
And just to be clear, what we have in terms of tax supported capital, which for people, that's stuff we don't bond, we put in the current year. It's like paying for your car with current money.
Right.
We have a number in there of 1.4 million.
Right.
So perhaps that gives us some, we're just looking for where we
and,
might get some.
and that's where we would look at this one to see what we can do. And also what also happens when we go through the 5-year capital plan, it's very detailed, which is good. But if we have, I'll just give an example of say painting. If it'll come across as painting as 4 different projects, but it's really painting.
Right.
So we don't need to take those 40,000s and put them in tax supported capital. They really could be bundled into bonding as a larger bonding because that's a 10-year, replacement of painting. So they're the other items that we look at as well. And we typically do it at this point to start going through those projects.
So I don't see this tax supported capital. Is that's just the town or is that inclusive of Board of Ed, the 1.4?
Tax supported.
Oh, that's a good question.
That should be both. Brian, are you on?
It is both. I can confirm that.
Thank you.
It's both?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
That helps. Okay.
Yep.
That helps. And again, I mean, think of it, tax, it's 1.4. That's approximately 1%. Up the approximate.
Yeah.
So if we do have some money that helps offset that, that again helps. It's like we're looking everywhere for help on this, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And
I need significant help.
Yeah.
What about, when we look at this contractual and operating, the contractual obligations we have, and then we look at how much over that we are, is there a number that we can put out there that we know that we are at what's our contractual obligations? I mean, is
that's something we tried to bring up in terms of showing it on the town side.
Yeah.
The object line.
yeah, but so if we combine everything though, right? Do you have that?
Oh, I
number?
don't have that number
Okay.
offhand. I can get that number
Yeah.
for you of what we are.
Because that'll tell us, if we're under contract if we're at a overall increase and then you've got only a percentage or so to work with, that's going to be
right.
And
certainly the Board of Ed budget is they represent their increases, or not their increases, their costs, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of it's contractual. It's 83% is salary and benefits,
right. So
which is
right.
So of their total, there doesn't leave, it always, that's really where we're able to nibble, and it doesn't really, there's not a lot to nibble at, that's the problem.
And remind me now, their head count number went. Was it flat? Shoot.
We're talking, head count
At
for,
Board of Ed.
I think they were only up
One.
0.5,
only
0.5.
0.5,
Yeah. But the question is too, is what's the, which is somewhat driven by enrollment, some of it's not, because there are a number of administration positions. So enrollment's a big wild card for them next year as
Yep,
well.
yep.
So.
Yep.
uh,
Yeah, and plus any changes that are, that they're looking at in terms of as the enrollment comes in, what are they spending in terms of ramping up? We talked about portables, we talked about all that stuff. So, but that's a separate conversation. I think.
Which to me actually exacerbates the discussion that we really
Yep.
do need to tighten this budget because
Right.
there's going to be other expenses that, are gonna, if enrollment does come in,
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
really gonna blow out the budget.
Yeah.
I
What-
mean,
eh,
we
absolutely.
really have to, I think everybody's gonna have to feel a little pain this year.
Okay.
I mean, it's just the way it is. It's not this is not sustainable at all.
I was really shocked to see the six number.
Yeah, that's after, like-
6.2 was,
Yeah,
$1,000
out of operating on
before
the
it
town
came.
side.
Yep.
That's, so we're at a 2
mhm.
on operating. I mean, that doesn't even account for, salary increases on the town side. So like
Yeah.
we're tight.
Remind me where we're exposed on salaries for the town in terms of union negotiations.
So police and fire are still under negotiation.
Right, but we did include,
Contingencies.
okay,
For the past couple of years. Because
Right.
it's been, I think, 2 years, 2 years.
Yeah.
So we're protected, but,
yeah, so, and then, Deanna, to what you're saying on the capital, of course, the capital folds into operating because of the debt service associated with it, right? And we're rolling off 13 million in principal.
in
Okay.
principle.
So in terms of looking at really
Yeah.
shallowly, in the capital request, I think it's 20 all in this year. So the first 13 we have space for, right?
Right.
Without, kind of keeping level debt service, right? With our goal of keeping our debt service as
10%
10% of our, which is a big improvement for us. We were at 13. So it's a big improvement.
down, and we're keeping it at that level.
Yeah. So we have just some room to add more, but not a heck of a lot. Yeah. And again, and then you're speaking, Deanna, the 5-year capital plan that we're looking at, it doesn't have the Board of Ed's potential needs going forward. We only have this year. We don't have their out year numbers.
Right.
So just in terms of the unknowns that are out there.
Yeah.
So
We were talking about insurance and where we are.
On the insurance line under town operating expenses, the $6.8 million that we had in there.
Yep.
Cheryl had set up calls with our broker and we went through all the numbers with it and
Yep.
where our claims are going. We could actually bring that in flat. So that will reduce that
So sit from
increase.
200,000, about 200. Okay.
wait, where am I looking here?
It's the third line
26,
down.
Second line down.
Yeah.
Sorry, third line down.
A group insurance.
All right.
Okay.
We're going to
So that-
Why don't we
so-
do that?
Yeah.
prepared in the background
Okay.
to reduce that. So when it goes in for the vote, it'll be
Okay.
in that.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Okay, so we'll take that.
That's less than 0.5%, but
Well,
It's about a quarter
It's
of
a
a
third
percent.
of a 0.5%.
Yeah.
So, but it helps,
um,
and then.
all right.
Next area is, like I said, the capital, tax supported capital.
So why aren't we seeing flat from the Board of Ed in that same, because, I mean, it's like, is Brian on or anybody? Yeah. I mean, I know we get later, but we're getting it already. So I think,
Yeah.
I think we need to sort of,
Their group insurance, that's up.
yeah. Hey, Brian. So have you been hearing, like, woes me, the 6.2 and we need some help?
So we love you.
We love you, but
Okay.
6.2 will not hold. We cannot do that to our taxpayers.
We love you should never end with a but.
It's those.
I know
quotes.
that's,
They always are the problem.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we have to find savings. We have to, and we can't touch your operating, but the message to the Board of Finance is we can't be at 6.2. So you're the biggest piece of the operating. So I think you guys need to really, I mean, we're at 2% and we just brought it down even more with health insurance on the town side. So we need
Right.
a ship here.
Well, as we do, and we'll do it again. And I've got a meeting scheduled with Joe, Sean and I with Joe Spurgeon to take a look at our trends in insurance and how we're doing. And by doing it another month, we cut a month of trend off the projection, right? So that helps. And if
Sure.
we're coming in, pretty well, we can take a look at that and maybe there's something else. We're already, as you know, using over $700,000 of positive performance to help us in this year. But we'll take a look and see if there's something there we can do. We always, again, on the operating side, we always have to be careful with turnover savings and things this early because we've only got, I think, 2 retirements that I'm aware of, and this assumes 6, right? So,
Yeah.
but we'll look at every lever that we can possibly pull as we go through the process and, see what we can do to try to get it, move it in the right direction, in the direction you want it to, right? The right direction. I will say, in this climate environment, whatever, coming in under 4 is a pretty good spot. So that does, we're very tight going in. As you know, there's no new programs, nothing that is sort of, under debate here. It's really just continuing. So, but we'll take a look at everything we can and see where we can, try to
Find
some
something if you
savings over
can.
time.
Yeah. It's not the year to have the nice shiny new toys or the
We
or
don't,
the
yeah.
new I know. I mean, but it's like, I don't know. You know what? I haven't been following the details of your budget, but there's always places to tighten, and we're just going to have to be in that year of tightening for everybody. It's because I think I'm definitely going to say, and this doesn't help the operating, but we're going to push off the carpeting at the high school and that's going to be my suggestion. That doesn't even really help us that much, but we need to have that message that everybody's got to be, finding those nice to haves in the capital that could, maybe in the not in the tax supported capital that we don't really need this year. We could put it off a year. We could put it off 2 years. I mean, because you've got a lot of stuff ahead of you that is going to be a big draw on the community. So,
Well,
if it falls through, if it happens the way we think it's going to happen.
Right. No, you're right. And just as context, we've in the look ahead, if you go back, we had the west roof and the Saks roof that are now overdue, sometime, and we're continuing to patch and fix and spend, hundreds, a lot of money keeping those roofs, keeping the buildings dry and those things. So we've been moving some things out. But you're right, the Saks roof is coming.
System and not the roof, Brian.
What's that?
Why would we not do the roof, and why would we not do the roof and put a PA system for $1.4 million in?
Because a roof is about 5.
Okay, well, that's 2 roofs.
No, that's Saks.
2. 5.
That's
You're
Saks.
talking 5. You're talking
Saks Saks is going to be an awful lot of money. It's a pitch roof up
500.
there now, and it's an enormous space, and there's a lot of work to do. So, it's a question of scale. And, a roof isn't going to improve what happens in a classroom, right, for kids and the experience. And it doesn't, so we've been working hard to kind of move that out. I'm just giving that as some context. The only context there is we've been working really hard to, try to keep things as manageable as possible and we'll keep doing it. Right. So
yeah, and we really do. We really respect the work you do. Absolutely. It's just, we have the unenviable position of having to look at the whole number and then there's no criticism, more just it will be the year that people are going to have to scrub even deeper than, and knowing people don't come in cavalierly. We understand that.
No, thank you. And I do understand where you're coming from. The best way to move the needle is a larger number like the insurance number, right? So, we will look at that and see what we can do. When we talk, I did catch a little bit before talking about, $800,000 is 0.5% and those pieces, but, that's insurance. There's a possibility there. There's a little bit maybe again in that turnover or savings over time. There's but when you start sort of nibbling around the edges, it takes a long time to get to a number like that.
It does.
Yeah.
What's What's the current enrollment? How many kids do we have?
About 4,000.
4,000. Okay.
Mhm. Yep.
And Brian,
So-
one of the things, I know we talked about the PA system at length the last time we had you here on Tuesday, and we're all, we all agree that it's a great thing. We approved it the last time for the high school. But, when you talk about the fact that SACs may be in play, depending on what happens with enrollment, et cetera, it seems like, it would be wise to even put it off a year. It's a nice to have, but it almost seems like it would be smart not to do it if we're going to move things around there. But you know better than I do.
Well, any change at SACS would be, years out, and the functionality of that system would still be needed, regardless of, as we have kids at SACS, then we're getting the benefit of that system, right? So,
some of the plans though that even rolled out that, originally were pretty radical for that building. So that would,
They were throwing administration in versus,
and
so.
all that kind of stuff.
well, it was to shift to a 6 through 8 and put a pre-K down in the lower division piece, right? So you would
so
still need,
if any of that were to happen, this, you'd be talking about redoing a lot of infrastructure there. So I don't know. That's why we hit the pause button as we talk through it. Like, wait a second, what if we did that? What would that look like? So anyway,
Mhm.
I think that's nice to have.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
but again, we are always inspired after you present to us. I always feel.
Oh, it's always a joy to be there.
Presentation. Always.
Thank you.
Always like what a great time. And look, it is our major, I hate to say it, business, but that's what we do. And we want to do it as well as we possibly can.
Yeah.
As judiciously as we can fund it. So.
That's right.
yeah, I mean, it's that balancing act that we always do in town, because we have, obviously the kids, number one, the parents of the kids and families, and all that demographic, but the other side, the demographic of the retirees, the fixed incomes and all that. And that's what we struggle with up here. It's, we see people every day saying, hey, please, hold the line on this stuff, because it's getting harder and harder. And it's, we hear it from retirees. We hear it from folks that are trying to stay in town. So it is a balancing act.
I understand. Yep, I do. I get it. And you'll be happy to know we have the Encore group coming to the Dome this afternoon for a show.
great,
Perfect.
great.
Yep.
Perfect. That's great. I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, so, so we've got the health insurance reduction. Are there any on the operating side, anything it's pretty tight on the town side, we're at 2%.
Yeah. And we just reviewed it on the BOE side. The slide that Amy pulled up before at 83% is the, right, Amy, is that 83% on that slide for the fixed for BOE?
That was for BOE.
Yeah,
Yeah. Which of course is people driven. So we're at 4,000 kids. I thought we were going to be at 4,100. So I'm always, and I know we have very clear staffing guide or, by grade level and stuff like that. But, and I was really happy to see just a de minimis 0.5 increase in headcount, because we do have to pay attention to that. And I do know that we have added departments or people, we've brought stuff in-house, and there have been some savings associated, but the headcount, is what drives it. Right. So.
Yeah, that's always the red flag and that's usually the number one question that the town council and board of finance over the years has had. What's the head count? What's the FTE? That's the number that everybody concentrates on. And 0.5 is actually one of the lower numbers I've seen.
Right.
It's rare that it's flat. It's.
Yeah. And I was surprised we were 4,000. I thought, for a number of years, I thought it was always planned at 4,100. Like I know, for instance, last year it was supposed to be 4,100 and it was just under 4,000.
Yeah.
You're always going to be plus or minus a couple of kids. But again, it depends where the 100 kids are. If they're spread out, that doesn't necessarily allow you to reduce a teacher or anything like that.
So Brian, I guess when I'm looking at it though, on the staffing side, we got rid of our director of digital learning. He left and we're not replacing that, but we're increasing the number of curriculum and instructional leaders. So,
Right. So we're going down to administrative.
Yeah, no, I know net.
Yeah.
I understand the net. Why is it that we need another curriculum and instructional leader?
because that work was being done by the Director of Innovation. And the Director of Innovation now has picked up all of the work of the Director of Digital Learning. So we sort of combined those two positions.
Oh, okay.
And then we need that science curriculum work to be done, that we need that work to be done through that specialist. So it's a lesser position, lesser paid, not administrative. It's a teaching position. But that work right now rests with the Director of Innovation. So in order to reduce by 1.0 administrator, we combine that position into one, but that work needs to be done.
Do you remember, I don't have my budget book with me, the enrollment variability, I mean, we can't touch this, but it's to go, the enrollment variability adjustment, you have a 1.2 in your proposed. Do you remember in your 25, the actual was 0? What, do we remember what we budgeted last year for that?
For the enrollment variability, I don't think we
Yeah.
had it last year because it's really about what the numbers look like. If they're close up against the class size guidelines, sometimes even if they're a little bit over, we'll go lower on the staffing, but put in the variability. So sometimes we've had plus, sometimes we've had negative, depending upon where the breaks are. This is a year we've got a couple of grades that are right at the line in 1 through 4. So that's why we have 1.2. 1.0 is for the classroom, the 0.2 is for the specials. So it assumes one of the grades is going to break above where we have it budgeted now.
Whoosh.
And that's the kind of thing, if we don't need it, we don't use it, and it's turned back at the end. But if we need it and we don't have it, we could, we puts us in a bad spot.
All right, well, I guess let's
Right,
just,
no
since we
problem.
don't deal with this
Yeah.
part of it, let's go to Board of Ed capital, besides the oh, right. Okay. Where are we with people's excuse me, people's thoughts on Board of Ed capital besides the 500 that were taken out for East?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's I think in general a tighter capital ask with the view that there's going to be big things coming along. I personally, I think the PA system is really cool and it's very helpful. I would suggest just putting that off till we have a better feel what everything's going on. And I guess it's hard to say it's a nice to have, but I think it is a nice to have. And it is, I'm not saying it doesn't enhance classrooms, but when you have tough years, I would probably just pull that one out. I'm a little worried about the roofs. I didn't realize the roofs were such an issue. Because that not doing those can get bigger problems. And I do remember when you did the high school roof, you had a very big number. It was like 6 million. You rocked it. You came in like half of it, which was really, remember that it was 6 million and you guys jumped the procurement of it. And so that gives me concern, like roofs.
Right. But when we put the solar panels up at Saks, didn't we do the roof over to put those panels on there, or there's a new roof?
We only put them on the cafeteria.
Okay.
Yeah, they're only on that one roof, which was in decent shape. But the thing about the roof that has to be replaced at Saks is it's a pitch roof. So just, over when we did the high school, it wasn't, right? It was the membrane. So getting rid of a pitch roof in order to replace it is a bit more. But you're right. We did all the work in 1 year instead of spreading it out over 2.
It was great.
So we have the mobilization and saved quite a bit of money. Yep.
Yeah.
And we'll see what we can do on this too.
You did. That was a huge help. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. I think, most of the other line items here are very much just maintaining stuff. They're very,
we have to maintain our buildings. I mean, we see other communities that haven't done maintenance and it just gets worse and worse and worse. And it's,
and we do have great. So that would be my only, and of course, this all goes to board of finance. They can put
Yeah.
stuff back in. I do think the systems are great. I just might put a pause on that one for you,
Yeah.
in my opinion on that.
And I think we can bring down the painting. I mean, every year is 100. Like, this is the year, it should just be 100. I mean,
It helps.
it's not a ton, but it's 50,000 that, can go to pay for something else. I mean, so I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I
think that's fine. And again, they're going to make the case to the Board of Finance as well.
Yeah.
So this
Yeah.
is our opinion.
So, I mean, for us, I would take down district painting to 100. And I do think we should take out those carpets at the high school for this year. If, it's a year to make choices, right? You want to have the shell, let's take out
We want you to have the show.
yes, we want you to
We
have the
want you to have
shell.
that show.
Of course, that goes straight to operating expense. This would be get bonded, but
It still costs.
yep. So, all
Well,
right,
then
so-
if throughout the year, if we can get at least one of the rooms done through operating, if things break in a certain way, we'll do that, and that'll help.
Okay.
So I do want to look at town capital.
Yeah, so let's look, let's look at
Well,
town operating
Let's
first.
see,
to
if
see
Brian,
what-
does Brian need to stay or is he?
I think at this point, we won't. So I think that's what we're gonna do, Brian. We'll take out the 50 on the painting and the 6550 on the carpets at the high school. And then,
Do you guys want to just express our concern on the
Yes.
PA system and leave it to Board of Finance, or do you want to take that? I don't think either way works, because Brian's going to make the pitch to them anyways on it. So if we,
that's true. We could take it out and he could pitch to put it back in.
yeah, or we could just leave it in and we could say, we're concerned about, we would.
Okay.
I don't think it's 6 of one, half dozen the other, because we're not the last say on this
Yeah,
one.
because they can add it anyway. So I mean, the message is, I think we need to punt it for a year.
Yeah.
But if it's compelling that it has to be done this year, then, Board of Finance can add it back in.
Yeah, and do remember, we're going to have
So
another
are you
capital.
saying
last.
take it? I'm confused.
Yeah,
Are you
I'm
saying
saying, I'm
take?
taking take it
All
out.
right, so we're gonna take that out and you're gonna make the argument to the Board of Finance on the PA system.
Okay.
So those three.
I'm also
items.
going to rename it,
Oh,
Good
God.
idea.
just so you know.
That was my idea.
What was it? What was
That
it
was
gonna
my
be?
idea.
What was the name for?
It is not a PA system.
What would you call it? What would you call it?
It's now going to be called the Lavieri High Security
Security.
System.
Yes, but we have to
I think
remember.
that-
we
well,
have-
I'll be very descriptive in my title so that it's
Yes.
we
But I
understand the
think we
5
all need
functions
to
that
be
it'll serve.
reminded. Yeah, we have to be mindful. We have SROs at every single school
Yes,
now.
we do.
And that was an addition in the last 2 years at great cost. I mean, and it is
The community wanted.
it's a community wanted it and everything, but
Mhm.
we do have security initiatives
And our campus
do.
and
monitors.
campus monitors. So
And
we
the-
have
and the-
doubled up.
And the enhanced
Yes,
security things that we've done, which
right.
we're
We do.
glad.
Yes,
Right, we're glad.
absolutely. Absolutely.
So, but this speaks, I think this speaks, sure, the security factor, but I think the pitch you made on this, and I don't disagree with it,
Yeah.
is the learning enhancement
Yeah.
opportunities, doing the audit, focusing on the auditory as opposed to just the visual. So I get it. It's not that we don't think it's
Well, and
great.
there's so many benefits to it. The distraction, the bells
Yeah.
going off, all that. The message that Brian sent. It's definitely. We're not saying we don't want it.
Yeah,
We
it's
just don't want it
enhancing
this
this year.
year.
Yeah.
That's that's-
We might want it at a much lower price
Yeah,
as you're talking to the.
We all
Just
would
saying.
love that.
Just saying.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, well, we were waiting for a second quote and we did get that in, but it's higher than than the original. I just learned that the other day. So
Yeah.
we're working on it.
But-
But
All that being said, I would like to see when the high level breakdown of like, you got to 1.4 because you have this many speakers, this many, this much, this,
Right.
not
Yeah,
every page, but
we-
like speakers are this, wiring is this, videos are this, lanyards are this,
Yeah.
the 10 items that add up to it. I think
Yeah.
it would help.
Yeah.
Because if it's like, it's $200,000 because the lanyards are X amount each and we have this many. That would help people understand where the number comes from.
sure,
Yeah.
what the investment actually is. Yep, got it.
And I think the conversation around, there's so much influx around your buildings and what potentially could be happening with these unknown unknowns.
Mhm.
I know. I
Don't
mean,
use a Rumsfeldism.
they,
I'm just saying.
um, so, I just think because we have so many unknowns around what we're gonna need to be doing with buildings around enrollment, that it's probably, you know.
Yep.
It'll be
That's-
something to look at, but I think this probably, while we're in such flux, it's probably not the year to be looking at it.
And I think the three of us, that's the number one reason why. It's
Yeah.
not, you know, that probably nails it right there. It's the unknown of what's going to happen.
All right, there we are.
Okay, so that's capital so we won't make you stay anymore, Brian. We promise not
Thanks for
to,
that.
I promise not to bring it up anymore. We're done talking about Board of Ed capital.
Well, fortunately, Tucker keeps my cell phone handy. So if she needs to text me and ask me to jump on, I always can. Thank you, Tucker.
Yeah, so I would like to see that summary on the expenses, the projections for the,
Yeah.
not PA system.
We have it itemized piece by piece. I'll roll it together into a couple of big categories and get it over.
Yeah, just not every piece, like 10 of them, you know,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Don't do that to us. Yep, so, okay,
Okay,
Thanks, Brian.
thank you, Brian.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
thanks.
So,
Capital.
let's, town operating, I guess, let's talk about position, because we have in both the finance budget and in the DPW budget, positions that we're looking to hire, like you've got the junior engineer, and you've got the purchasing agent. So, where are we with, I mean, I have been in the conversations on the junior engineer and we can't find anyone. So how realistic is it that,
Weren't they in last year's budget?
yes,
They were.
and we couldn't find anybody. We did go out but not for yours.
Purchasing,
not,
yeah.
Not for purchasing.
Right now I'm
but
working
for
on-
the junior engineer. I mean, Cheryl, you could come up and talk about what we've done to try and hire those positions. It's been very difficult.
Can I ask a question? Are we too below market? Is that why we can't find people? Is the
There
price point
I
too low?
think, well, Cheryl, I'll
demand.
allow the expert to testify on that.
Use yours.
Yep.
In regards to the engineer, and Tiger, jump in if you want, we did put a posting out. I think the position that we're looking for in the municipal arena, we just are not finding individuals.
But what does that mean?
The type of engineer that Tiger's looking for, we would have to up that salary quite a bit. So we are looking at trying to change the job description, but the individuals we got either were right out of school and we're not looking for this type of engineering, or we're looking for a much higher salary.
So you're looking for more experience, I guess, and someone that may have been in a municipal job before? Or?
No, it doesn't matter. More construction experience than the design side. But it doesn't matter if it was municipal or private. Sometimes private might be better.
We were looking for, so the problem is that, like, from a succession planning standpoint,
Right.
we need an engineer.
Sure, makes
And,
great.
And so Maria is our only engineer
Yep,
in that
yep.
office right now. And so, I don't know if we just say, we're functioning in that office right now, and maybe this isn't the year to be looking for that position, and we push it out a year.
And I could be wrong on this one. What do we have budgeted all in for this position where we were at, because that's like
Yeah, it was a little less than 100 and benefits could run 40,000.
Oh, you're talking about 150 probably.
right.
Looking for an engineer to come in at a salary that's a little
A
less.
junior
A
engineer.
junior,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like somebody that would
that'd be,
report to like Tiger and Maria to kind of.
Right.
So
Yeah,
look,
they would be under direction. They wouldn't, they wouldn't be autonomous.
So the salary is 100,000 plus pennies.
Yeah, it's $100,000 and then the benefits run.
Yeah. Oh, we're there. Yeah. So.
I mean, an option would be to hold it off until January and budget for half a year. I mean, or
Yes.
hold off for a year.
Yeah.
I don't-
So you've had no success at all.
Where do
Okay.
we go?
So
What-
why would we get more success at the same?
We're gonna change the description. I think the description was a little too specific.
Okay.
And I think we went back and forth with Deanna on whether it's a PE or not a PE. And so all those play into the salary and the experience.
So when you post that job, where do you, you're fishing in an engineering pond somewhere. Where are you?
I mean, we post it, when it goes out, it will go out through LinkedIn, Indeed, Monster, and then we can also go to certain engineering sites, and we didn't get anything.
Yeah, we went out to our listserv. We went out to other, so we have a listserv throughout Connecticut.
Yeah.
So we went there and went to a couple of other locations.
But it's not just us, we're seeing it municipal wide. I mean, Tiger was
Right.
saying there was 8 different towns looking at the same time, so.
Name more or? Yeah, okay.
So then it sort of begs the question, do we actually bring in somebody in-house or do we just continue? We constantly use consultants. I mean, and that's kind of what we've been doing is using consultants. I mean, I hate all the consulting dollars.
Yeah, but do we know how much we spend a year on consultants? Approximately?
But yeah, no.
Yeah. I mean, so do we spend 150?
Oh, we spend more than that in consultants for sure. But we'll always
even
have
if,
to.
but
We'll
even if you brought
always
someone
have
in, they're
to.
not going to be able to cover all of
Right,
it, right?
no. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The biggest argument is the succession. If you get the right person
Yeah.
that, that learns the
Right.
town and learns all the
Right.
intricacies that we have. And that's really,
That's the Benny.
yeah, so. But finding that person is difficult. And the issue is too,
Right
if we give up on it and say,
Yeah.
well, let's punt it this year, what if
Yeah.
the right person, is out there? That's
Yeah.
that's the problem.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is this where we want to cut?
I mean, I'm fine leaving it. I just wanted to have the conversation. So,
Well, we're asking other people to dig
Yeah.
deep, so you're digging deep
Yeah.
looking, so that's
Yeah.
just to be fair.
and then what are we thinking on timing for the purchasing agent? Because maybe there's like a half year, because we haven't even posted for that yet. Right?
No, we have not posted,
And-
because right now I'm concentrating on the
Yes,
senior
budget and-
accountant.
yeah.
No, the senior accountant one. So
Oh,
we just haven't had really the opportunity to go out, or me say, to go out. We could push it off. The reason we originally put it in is because the person doing it, it's more than what their job, they can handle
Yeah.
in the job. So, and also in terms of, we have a floater who does another piece of that job. And then we have, the original AP person did a lot of things when we first came in, that there was a segregation of duties issue where they were doing a lot of things they shouldn't have done. So we needed this other position to break that position
because
up.
that was highlighted in our, so do we I don't want to cut,
I can
am a
push it off
fan
though,
of-
if that's we can
Well,
push
I
it off.
don't, I really don't want it. We've been pushing it off. I mean, it's been over a year that we've pushed it off because we talked about it last
Yeah,
year.
but maybe what we do is push both off for 6 months. So we can take between the two of them, it's 100,000
Yeah.
savings.
And we can still go out and, because it's going to take us a while as we've seen, it's going to take us a while. Because I don't want us to not go out specifically for that. I think that's a valuable position and it actually could help us control the budget long-term.
Yeah, that's what I want to get, someone who can do cooperative agreements
Yeah.
and, across departments.
Yeah.
If we're using the same vendor, what can we do? Things like that.
I don't know how much that saves us though.
About 100,000 if you put it off for 6 months with both.
Does that mean we would not solicit for somebody to start until
January.
like a year from now?
Till
Yeah.
a year from now.
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't really save us much. It's not really, I mean, we're already at 2% and I'm like, that doesn't really help us. We need,
Well, the one of the hires would immediately save you money.
Yeah.
You would think.
yeah,
If they get up to speed, I don't know.
right,
I mean,
right. I just don't think that that's the right. I mean, I don't think legitimately, I think we're going to have a harder time finding the engineer,
Mhm.
but I don't want to feel constrained to getting that by the fact that we didn't put it in the budget. Yeah, I don't
Leave it
know.
in, leave it in.
Yeah, so we'll just leave those both in. It doesn't. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How are we doing?
All right,
Yeah,
so it's,
Bev, you just
I-
wrote off.
to-
Where
to-
are we
all right.
going?
so It says 6.2, right? We found a little bit of, that's capital other
Yeah.
side, but so we're really probably more realistically, we won't know this yet. I mean, this is Board of
Yeah.
Finance to deal with it. There is some additional funds that will be available when we figure out how much bonding we do. So that'll help a little bit, right? Depending how it cleans up with Ann, we may get some relief on tax supported capital.
Right.
You can guess, I don't know, maybe half of it, so that would help. So if you got there, if we have 1.6 in it, if you had half of that, it gives you another 0.5%. I'm just trying to big picture it, right? So that kind of gets you maybe close to 5 before you start digging into operating, cutbacks. And I will say, everybody made a pretty compelling argument for why they're staffed the way they are, across the board.
Yeah.
So, are we realistically, functionally handing a budget to the Board of Finance that's closer to a 5% increase when all these other little pieces come in, assuming they fall the right way?
Yeah, I mean, that's the number that I would say the biggest number that we would have wanted to hand them this year in
Yeah.
a year, the year that we're here, that we're in based on what's going on in the outside world. 5% is a lot. I mean, that would be the big number.
Yeah.
And
I think that the reality with government, and people need to realize that it's a very people heavy business.
Right.
Schools are a very people heavy business. So we don't necessarily flow with how, costs are where stuff gets automated away. I think we're very much in the school system trying not to automate, because we know it's the teachers with the kids where the real learning takes place. But so if we were to shoot basically this budget over to Board of Finance, taking out a couple of the capital pieces, knowing they're going to have to look at the greater capital plan, because last year we did 14 million. This year they're asking for 20. We always send to the Board of Finance with a much bigger number, and we pull it in. We're really kind of handing them a budget that's, and tell me if I'm over speaking here, that is closer to a 5% increase. I know that's high, but it's like, it says 6.2 here, but we do have some other between, if we have a break on the tax funded capital, and if we do get a much lower amount of bond premium because we're doing less bonds, that gets us, maybe 1.2% less. So, if some way on top of that, the Board of Finance could squeak out another, $1 million saving, 1.6, that could drop you down a whole nother percent. So,
Can you, I'm just looking at the emergency management line. That's up 10%. I mean, it's
what page are you
16,000.
on?
I'm on page 25. Let's look at this.
I think, wasn't that mostly radios?
That's right. No, that's not capital.
No,
I'm talking
okay,
about
okay,
operating.
operating,
This is
okay.
operating. Yeah, what is it? Why are we at 5.3 in salaries on that one? And why is it 5.3 for salaries? Since, yeah. Do we know why that's so high on salaries?
I thought it was in the 75% of Russ's salary. And then the other 25% goes.
But it shouldn't be, but that was done last year, so the year over year shouldn't be that high. That was done last year.
Okay.
It looks like,
I'm here,
well,
yep, sorry.
it's going against adopted. Adopted didn't keep the full, we keep it in contingency. Some parts of it in contingency and some goes up, but we keep a flat number increase, and then the balance goes into contingency. So that's on the adopted. Revised would be where we true it up when approval is made of what the raise would be for the year.
Was there? Okay.
So other than looking at.
Oh,
what
did
is
we
ex-
not allocate?
I mean, you see, the adopted 2020, are we still on salary? We took out the part-time last year. And it's such a little amount of money.
Yeah.
It's
No,
$6,000.
No,
It just doesn't.
it just
move the needle.
like, but when it's because we know what the contractual I know what that is, and that's double. So I don't know why it was double. Strange. Or not quite double. Yeah, actually, it is double. So I'm confused.
I'm gonna look this down.
Okay, so where are we? But what is this? Is this that new fire security maintenance, the $7,000 for an 8,800 for software subscriptions that are new? The software subscriptions, that's new for 8,800, and then he said this before, and I just didn't like it. I'm just looking at the overall
And then
departments.
here's his changes in the back.
Okay, it's a big year-over-year increase on that department. It's a small dollars.
Yeah,
It's not.
yeah.
It's just, you know what? It's just everybody has to be.
Yeah.
Everybody has to be tight. Like this is how you get out of control. Is you have all these little nickels and dimes that nobody pays attention to, and then all of a sudden those nickels and dimes, add up to a lot of dollars.
Yes. It's just, what's his full salary? Because that's, the difference is just,
Yeah.
I mean, if it's 75%, yes, it's 75%. Did that change? The salary?
I mean, not. No, they would have. No. Yeah. Why is that so much higher?
It was allocated 75% last year as well, in fiscal 26 as well.
So it should have.
Total salary between the two departments was 141.
Okay, I'm confused because if it's allocated equally each year, right? You haven't changed the allocation. Why is the percentage so different? Because that is not the percentage we're giving staff.
26 had the right allocation.
Yeah, I'm gonna dig through my notes. I have 141 last year and 148 this year. Those are the numbers that I
We should
had
have fire
from
marshal down.
earlier
then. Is
conversation.
fire marshal down? If we look at fire marshal, that percentage should be less. What page is fire marshal? 3.
Oh, that's all of fire, but let's, the staffing.
I mean, on fire is at page 72, but I'm looking for the fire marshal here.
Okay, so
Director, fire marshal. So the fire marshal, no. It's the same. Okay.
4,000.
That 25%.
Oh, the other inspector. Yeah, sorry. I'm
the
looking at the wrong-
inspector,
The
that's the
inspector
inspector
is the
position.
same.
But that's, yeah, so something's a little off there. Okay.
Yeah, Ryan, we need to look at that because that doesn't make sense to me at all.
Yeah, just whatever the salary is, it goes to
Yep,
25
absolutely.
cents.
Okay.
Okay.
So can you do that before? I mean, it's small.
It's
It's
very
not going
small.
to change the percentages, but that is wrong.
Highway is that's the only one that's other one that's outstanding at 5, but we know what that is, I guess. You flip through the top line on every department is hovering at, as you flip through the book, 2.5, 2.6, minus. You got a 5 on one, then the highway's got a 5 on that one.
Is that we were out last year? Is it because it's against adopted? Did you say the?
Yeah, you see,
percent?
that's,
So we were,
this is not,
we're down and we had
We're
to bring
down, yeah,
people
yeah.
in.
I
Yeah.
brought it back up.
policy now we have to do where we have to put something in the line. If there is
Yeah.
not a contract, just put a baseline or put a baseline for the non-union.
Yeah.
Because the swing is too much when you look at it, because the contingency is where it's carrying an estimate.
Okay.
So we got to come up with a better way of showing that so you don't see those level of discrepancies.
Okay. All right.
I know, like, when we always do this, and like, you've already scrubbed it once, line by line by line.
Yeah.
And,
Like I said, it was over 600,000.
Yeah,
that the
yeah.
first one went through.
Which is almost 0.5%. There you go.
Original and
Which feels like nothing on this budget right now.
Probably 0.4%. There you
and
go.
capital.
It helps. So, okay. I just think we moved it
All
forward.
right. All right. So we'll move. Oh, hey,
We need to take a break so he can make sure, like.
yeah.
you
So
have-
Russ, are you gonna, sorry, Ryan, I see Russ's face on the screen. So, Ryan, are you gonna look at those two salary numbers, or do we, before we vote on the budget between the fire marshal? and
Yeah, I'm
the-
looking now.
Okay, great.
It just seems like an allocation issue.
Yeah. Okay.
You're not going to adjust the salaries, just an
No.
allocation.
Yeah.
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 So we need Ryan to do that. He's gonna take a couple of those capital.
Okay, so you
Changes.
have the, Ryan, you have the Board of Ed capital, the 1.4 for the PA system, the 500 is already out for East paving, and then the 60 something for the carpets at the high school.
Did you say
And
PA system?
painting.
And you had dropped 50,000 off of the painting as well.
Oh, sorry, and
Yeah.
50 off. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. So we're there. Anything on town?
Well, just do
capital?
we want, yeah, I was gonna say,
We
do
should
we
look-
want to talk about town capital?
Yeah, we should. Got it.
Page number there is
Starts at 173.
Okay, so the,
177.
So all in, we're up to $2.6 million in capital and, oh, sorry, wrong year. Oh, right, yeah, 2.6 million. And what? Right, grand total. Sorry, I'm on the wrong.
you're on the wrong page. You're just looking, go to the summary page,
What page?
173.
173 summary.
So last year we approved.
Oh,
total
17, there we go. Grand total.
20 million. Oh, so that's not bad. We're not off that much.
So last year was 18, this year is. Oh, wait,
Wait,
what am I looking? Are you on page 174?
all right, so 5-year
Oh,
capital.
121, 173, so 21.
21,360.
That didn't have this, okay, for kicks. The 2026, 27 doesn't have the Board of Ed number in it? Our page?
On your tablets, we changed the ones that we confirmed with Sean yesterday. So everything on your tablet is current.
All right,
other
so
than
we
these
got to
quick
pull up
changes.
the tablet number. Okay. Alrighty. Yeah, that looked too good to be true.
Yeah, okay, so.
budget.
The budget file, budget material folder. And we got to go to,
All the way down the bottom.
Ryan,
which
can you
file?
confirm that the capital is up, the updated capital with the Board of Ed is on there?
For selectmen. recommended. Impressed, is that it?
I was muted. The numbers I have are updated as of Tuesday's meeting, not today's meeting for us.
But yeah,
And the supplement that you have, I think actually I deleted it because I changed those first couple pages. I'll get you a new capital page right now.
So what page are we looking at? What file am I going to be pulling up? On here to look.
I'm going to create it right now and I'll put it on the tablets and I'll let you know in a second.
including the current changes?
Including the current changes, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So the capital,
Part of the job. No, that's that.
one of those bigger items was the dismantling of the building at the incinerator. The old incinerator.
Was that just the study for it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not doing it, yeah.
Yeah.
Engineering, right? Yeah. Right,
Yeah.
thank you.
And Tiger, we already budgeted at 4 million in prior years for the UV.
That's correct.
So good news, the one good news piece, I mean, I guess I can announce it now because it's official. We just now have to get dealing with the grant. We are officially getting that $1.092 million grant from the feds for the UV treatment.
Great.
At the wastewater treatment facility.
But correct me if I'm wrong, but those are all self-supporting within the wastewater treatment for the users of it, right? So that doesn't really
It doesn't help
help
the,
our budget, but it's a good thing. It's good.
you know,
Jim Hines came through.
there we go. I know, he did. He
Good
did.
job.
I thanked him personally.
Yep.
Had a little text exchange.
Yeah,
And he was
did.
like, when's it getting done?
Yeah.
He's like, we got to get the grant going. There's a lot of steps before that, but, yeah. So that's.
So I guess the question that usually the Board of Finance asks us, so we can ask Tigers here, but when we approve some of these projects, are we absolutely sure that we're going to be able to get them done within the in the time? Because there's a lot of times we make a big long list of stuff and then we just aren't able to physically do
Right.
it. So I guess I don't know if there's anything. Is there any question out there that you'd say, hey, I don't have enough time over the next year to get all this stuff done, or you've looked at that already? Yeah.
Come on up to that. Come up to the.
And I know the that incinerator that's been out there for a while.
Forever,
And
yeah.
I get that. I'm not.
We looked at, when we analyze what our ask would be, we also analyze based upon what our capabilities are, as far as staffing, not necessarily engineering wise. And we're capable of going forward. Right now, we've got a void in some of the larger projects, so it's a good stepping off point. We'll be constructing one bridge this year, which is so we'll have some construction, but then we need to start backfilling in the design side of it. So then, stay on schedule. So we did look at that.
Yeah, I mean, there's always the outside contractors that we use, like the paving and all that stuff. That's pretty set in stone. That just is that's a rolling thing that we always do. So I get that. But there's no projects that you'd say, hey, this is something that if we approve it, there's no way to guarantee that it won't be finished during the cycle. I guess that's really
That would be a question I would ask on paving if that was an area.
Yeah.
Because we have, the amounts we're working on right now, will we still get to the paving we're asking for?
Well, yes, we'll get to what we have slated. We'll be going out to bid shortly for that work.
Yeah, the paving you seem to always get done,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
But-
that's important.
But how about a big thing like, and I'm not saying put this up, but what's a couple the biggest line items, from Public Works, are basically the Waveney associated one, the 4 million for the HVAC, 1.3, which is continuing the exterior ceiling, which went over a fiscal year. It's kind of what you're talking about, right? And then the Waveney exterior doors, I'm sorry, I think we have to rethink that number. That's enormous. But so for Waveney in this budget, what's 5.3, another 4.7, it's, over $6 million on Waveney. So the big question with the HVAC, does that all get done from July of 26 to June of 27?
I can't say it'll all get done, but they can't phase that one. So
Yeah,
I have to
right.
I'd have to have the money in place for you to be able to
Contract.
approve it. So I can't, and then and wouldn't bond it until we're done regardless. So,
True, right.
I
So
know,
it's,
I'm looking through the tax supported capital.
We're just having shades of the I mean, it's like,
but in this one, I can't really phase this one in. So I have to kind of do it all in one shot.
do we have a detailed budget for how it gets to $4 million? It's kind of like I was saying to Brian with what are the pieces that go into, I'm not going to call it the PA system, the enhanced educational auditorium system.
Right.
Do we have how we got to the 4 million and can
That was it. That was in the engineering analysis. We can get that for you.
we see that? We see that? Yeah. But
But
with
that-
that, you need it approved ahead of time, so you get the
that's
bond.
the point that is missed. It has to get approved. It has to get,
Yeah.
in order, you're not going to approve a part of that project. You have to either go for it or not. I mean, that's.
Yeah.
And,
And it
obviously-
gets bonded, so it might actually not get bonded till 2028
Yeah.
budget, it could,
But we
maybe we
committed-
do part of it. And you sometimes bond part of a project, like,
Not usually.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of anyone that we did a partial. That was 1.2 and then we did the whole thing. No, we did 1.2 first for the engineering and everything, and then we did the full 27 million. But most of the time we wait till the project's done and then bond it because we don't know how much.
We committed to that building.
Right.
And
does that ever mess up our cash position? Because you're basically,
Yeah,
we're in
the
repaying
general fund's
yourself.
covering it. So the
Yeah.
police station was the one that was one that had to cover that, but we're up to date on that now.
Yeah.
So
so we're good.
we're good for now. Yeah, until we have another large project.
Okay. So. Yeah, so I would love to see.
I have that document uploaded. Sorry, everybody. I have that document uploaded if you wanted to look at the updated
Want to print
capital.
it off and I'll grab it or send it to a printer?
So,
Sure, I can do that.
so we have 8 million in encumbered funds for paving. Is that,
The budget, when we were going through the budget process with yourself, we had 8 million encumbered with some residual left over. That's why I was asking if there's room there because we have
Yeah.
8 million to still spend. At that point, that was December.
December?
And did we have room in the paving?
So
for the
what do we
upcoming-
have in paving right now?
For this year, 3.3.
So how much do we get done? How much did we get done this year in paving dollars?
Will we get done by June? Right? Yeah.
Yeah, will we get done by June?
What will we get done by June? Well, we'll go out to bid. So this year, what we're looking at is I've got a little bit left over from last year, coupled with the 3.5 million I got for this year, because I've got over $4 million worth of work to do for the year. So I've got a little bit left over from one, and then I'm going to combine that with with what's coming.
So you've got 4 million for this year in pavement.
4.3, yeah, about.
And
I've
we
got
have
about
8 encumbered, so.
So unless invoices came in.
Right, so
Let's be good. So this current year, okay, we approved 3.5, but you had some left over, so you're going to do 4.
700,000 approximately by
Okay.
my calculation.
4.2.
That's correct.
All right, and next year, and you're pretty sure that will all get done. So next year, you have 3.3, and that'll be starting you from 0 in which you can
5.
3.320.
So, well,
Is there an offset?
there's a part of a,
Is
it's a small LoSiP
that a
grant
LoSiP
in there.
grant?
There's a small LoSiP.
Yeah, so the overall is 3.5.
It's just, did we spend from the 8 million we'd encumbered in December, did we spend that down? Has that work been done? Versus, does that still have to be done this
I don't
coming
have $8
spring?
million encumbered. In my calculations, I've got about $700,000 left. That's unallocated. Everything else is encumbered and will be is allocated contractually. I've got about as I'm closing out contracts, I got about, in my calculation, about $700,000 left. That's coupled with the 3.5 that I would get gets me to about 4.2, 4.3,
Yep.
which is exactly what the calculation.
We should
I need for next
probably
year.
go through that.
Okay,
I think that's probably something we gotta
Fine.
figure out. We gotta figure out how much we actually have.
Yeah, I mean, and the message is definitely not to cut paving. The
Right,
message is
no.
yeah,
It's just, how much money do we have
Yeah.
in a paving budget
Yeah.
that has been, do we have left over?
That's a big difference.
Yeah. Yeah, so we need to get that.
I've got $500,000 minimum right now.
Well, I think you need
Pine
to get
Street.
that with finance.
That's
Like,
fine.
the two of you have to come to an agreement on where we are in fund balance for that line item.
That's fine.
It'd be lovely if we had more, but we're not gonna.
If we had what?
It'd be lovely if
Yeah,
the excess is
we
there,
could
but
take advantage. If we
but
don't
I-
have it, we don't
we
have
don't
it.
have
We
it, but
just
that-
need to, it's
again,
not gonna be for today.
you
It's
know,
not
so
gonna be for
so the
today.
Board of Finance will have the benefit of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, when, you put we always have that, the road index where Tiger gives us the list of
Yeah, yeah,
of
yeah.
everything. So we know exactly, this is what it's
Yeah.
going to, and it's not.
No, we know,
Yeah.
I'm not debating the number
Yeah.
of we need.
Yeah.
I'm debating how much money do we have sitting
Hanging around.
Got it.
Yep.
in the
Got it.
books
Right. Okay.
that we could use to offset what we
Something
need
else.
to spend.
Yep.
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 That
So
would be
we
good.
don't want to be holding money to
Yep.
that, is just for whatever. We've got a budget and that's
Mhm.
what it's for.
Yeah, Tiger, I would recommend when you talk to Board of Finance on the HVAC system that you give them the summary cost, because they're gonna ask the same thing. I mean,
That's fine.
so you have to give it to me now. I'll look at it later, but, because they'll be like, what? And also, I think people are also gonna do that 360,000 for 2 doors
Yeah.
question. I
Yeah.
mean,
We
you
gotta find
just need to support it,
better
you know?
solution.
I'm not close, I'm not bidding it. It just seemed
Yeah.
like a lot of money, but.
It is a lot of money.
And is there an alternate solution, right? Is there an alternate solution
Yeah.
that would be not $390,000 for 2 sets of doors? 360,000.
Yeah,
And
we are-
also with capital, I mean, the powerhouse, the 875, that is all contingent on them raising everything.
Yes, yes.
So
But we've committed to that.
I agree, we've committed to it.
Yep, we've
But,
committed to
so,
that. So,
and this does not include the ask, which we're gonna get from the library.
right.
So, thank you.
Uh,
Yeah, that's the part where you stare at all this stuff and say, yep, we talked about
Thanks,
every
Tiger.
single one of these.
Yeah,
and-
thank
Thanks.
you.
Thanks, Tiger.
Why is this not bigger? Where's the board of Ed?
All right, so we are at on the very back. real quick. So we're at 24.7 million total in the budget, 20.5 bonded, 1.5 tax supported. I can give you a lot to
What's the other?
sewer fund.
So in
So
total,
okay.
yeah,
So that's
sewer fund.
sewer's what it
Yeah.
is. So,
Total general fund is the line above.
it's interesting that we're, so the 2.7 sewer that gets taken care of through
Yeah.
its own thing. So basically, the ask is more like 22. And if they took out the 1.4 for the enhanced announcement SACS thing, that gives, I think, the Board of Finance a lot to work with on this, you know? But so Anne, my dear, so we adopted 20 last year. Okay, we have, say, amortization of 13 off. Just so we pay down principal, right? So, is this, when we adopted 20 last year, is that pushing up our debt service?
Yeah, I still have 42 million to bond for last year, some of last year and part of the year before, because those projects aren't, excuse me, those projects aren't done either.
Okay, in the debt service, principal and interest payment that is in our budget is assuming that bonding happens, correct?
Yeah, well, I'm keeping it flat to try and keep it below the 10%.
But in keeping it flat, does that give you enough?
Oh, I
pass-
have the ability to go up to another, probably bond another 20 million.
Yeah, no, so I guess what I'm getting at is that if we amortize 13 million off, okay, and if we're gonna stay flat with debt service, you do 13 million in debt, more or less. I know interest rates are effective, but in fact, we adopted 20 million last year, which is 7 million more of debt service than we had. But we're adopting it knowing it's gonna roll into future years. I'm just trying to,
So
I'm trying to
like, if you
balance
talk
that.
about- So I look at it differently in terms of what's my budget per each year on that debt, what's coming off,
Right.
what is coming on, because it's structured, it's not all even. Some of the
Exactly,
payments aren't
yeah.
even.
It's a
So
shorter
My
amortization.
next cliff isn't till 2 years.
Mhm.
So I really have about maybe $1 million shift in going into 27
Mhm.
that I can work out the years and the bondings of the projects that are done to capitalize on that $1 million difference, to try and keep the debt flat without going above. And that's doing previous debt projects that are done. So that's up to taking that 42 million and figuring out of those projects that are done, and the timeline, so that I can take advantage of that $1 million.
Right. And then did you say that we have a precipitous drop in debt servicing?
In 2 years, I think, don't quote me, I have to look at it again, but I think in
Couple
2
big ones
years we
rolling
have
off.
one, which will hopefully catch us back up, because we really want to get ahead of it and not always be so far behind because of projects, because we do it in arrears, because we have the flip side of it affects our fund balance when we go out to bid.
Absolutely.
So it's trying to slowly get ahead of that so that we can upfront some of the projects that we know, and then not be so far behind with 22 million. And there was 1 year in was either 22 or 23, 22, that we did not bond at all.
Yeah, that's right.
So that put us behind as well in that year.
Okay.
All right.
Well, look, if you reduce the capital ask for Board of Ed some, they can push some of these other around, we're kind of flat to net last year in terms of what we're approving and bonding, but the bonding doesn't necessarily happen. So that's why it fits within our debt service isn't jumping up and down because we approve it, but it's multiple years out.
Yep.
It's almost like, a graph would show that, like this is going to come on at these other times, a line chart with colors would help.
And I mean, the Board of Finance and the town committed to keep that debt service in check. And so far, we've done a good job.
Yeah. And it helps us because
Yeah.
when you do that, then, the top expense number, I mean, if that was $2 and $3 million more, you got to raise taxes to do it. I mean, you do raise taxes for this, but you spread it over that time. So capital's not so bad. It's the
Yeah.
operating.
Yeah.
Well, and that can argue, and though I don't really like this, that can argue for bundling projects up that would be tax funded capital and rolling them into bonded in terms of giving you some
Right.
relief on the operating
Did we already do
expense.
that with the, like all the radios and things like that? Did we consolidate?
We did last year, I think. I gotta look.
Okay.
We have.
Yeah, that's
Because
what
I know I'm trying to think what else we can bundle. There's not a lot of.
With the police cars, some of them is getting
Duty.
paid for with their over.
fund.
Yeah.
So we moved, that should be in their other column.
Because we only have $1.5 million tax board account.
Right.
I mean,
And it's because we're bundling, I mean, you could argue we should have more tax boarded. I mean, you can argue it a lot of
not a
ways.
6.2.
Well, I mean, but it is a pushing down the line.
Yeah.
I mean, other towns have a greater ability to put money aside ahead of time, like 4 years ahead of time, so they have the $1 million to buy them. You're going to pay for one way or the other.
Yeah.
You're going to either have, funding accounts ahead of time for it,
Right.
Which will be.
I argue though bonding. I mean, if it's a long lived asset, taxpayers who live here in the year that it's being, who are benefiting,
Yeah.
it should be spread over multiple years because if it's you don't tax today's taxpayer for something that'll last for 10 years. I mean, you just don't.
Yep. No, I believe me, I get it.
Yeah.
It's just complicated.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Well,
I think we're done.
I think I don't know if we have, unless you have some other suggestion.
I think we're fundamentally putting forth a budget that after some of these other resources are come into play,
Yeah.
it says 6.2, hopefully it's closer to 5. We would like to see if we could do that more. And the
There's gonna be
current,
hard
and-
choices this year.
yeah, and the current expense ratio is between Board of Ed, if I did my numbers right, Board of Ed and town, 32.68. The difference is the town came up 2%, the Board of Ed, 4.
Mhm.
Though the Board of Ed is so people focused, that's going to drive them higher. So it's just complicated. So.
Okay.
The other, I'm just looking at the capital again on, like, there's $1 million in there for the turfing of the 2 fields too.
Oh, didn't we take that out?
That was under,
Oh yeah,
Parks-
$1 million
Parks
at
Infrastructure.
water. That one we have to deal with. Title.
yeah, Title IX stuff.
I like.
But didn't we say that it's not going to have this for the softball fields, right?
Oh, was he gonna?
He was going to
out?
push it out a year.
Was he gonna
Maybe
push
he
that
did.
out? No, it's here. It's $1
No,
million.
so this just,
That's right. He was
he's going to push
put it
this.
out.
That helps. Okay. Because the library is going to come in and ask for something. So, go forward.
We were pushing it out 1 year.
Yes, that
So,
helps.
okay,
Good-
so-
Good catch, Steve.
Yeah, very good catch. That's on page 4 of 9 and what you just printed.
For the turf,
Yep, or turf orchard and turf water.
takeout. On page 4.
Just move it over 1 year.
Just, go over to the following year. That's a good one.
Sure, there's nothing else.
Yeah, and are we just all the Waveney, like the doors, and so we're just leaving that in and let Tiger will present and say, do a deep dive
Yeah.
for them on that one.
Can you tell, like, Bill, and we just need to, so the Waveney, the 4 million and the 360 for the doors, we'll tell the Board of Finance that needs to be looked at in depth.
Hey, Tiger, can I ask a question? So the Waveney exterior repairs that were 2.4 last year, that's what we budgeted. did we have to spend that much or do we spend less on that? So is the total exterior repair, I thought it came in better. Is it 3.75 for all of it?
For all of it, yeah, we did much better this year
Right.
so far, but we still have some, we have some leaks that we're noticing now. So now we're working through the second phase.
Right.
So what do we have left from, because we didn't spend the 245.
And I just don't have that number off the top of my head.
That is
That-
good.
that
Could
could
we
come down a
bring
little.
down the 1.3 because we have leftover money from this year?
Originally, when I asked Joe, he wanted to keep that out there because we're into the most expensive repairs now, the capstone repairs.
Okay.
So he was asking for the full amount. We can do another look at it.
I would do
The thought
that.
was to do another look at it through the Board of Finance. And then at that point in time, if we could shave some off the back end.
It's okay. And I think that whole exterior came in better cost wise than we
did.
thought it was. So,
Yes.
so I mean, we allocated a lot. Fortunately, we haven't had to use it, but so if a true up on that would help make this 1.3, look at that, what do we really need? So there's another little, so you got Steve, you got the $1 million moving forward for the softball fields, go forward a year. Hopefully, some cushion here. HVAC will get a deeper dive on that. There could be some help in the whole Waveney capital. Could be.
Yes, yes.
Thanks.
No problem.
We'll take it. So the deeper, if on capital, you guys are gonna figure out where the pavement stands, in terms of most likely we're gonna
You're
need
gonna-
a 3.3.
Yeah.
But, so there may be help there, we don't know. 88 improvements, that's just what they're side. And now the sidewalk, the 750 on the sidewalks, that was just purely repairing what we have in, right, Tiger?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's just what it is, okay? Let's look at those, all right. We can let Board of Finance, they always beat them up on when they need the trucks, let them do that. Okay. Yeah, but there may be some help in Waveney. We might have some help in Waveney. Which should be good. And then add the $1 million ask for the library. So, okay,
All right. So
that's good.
I think he has the vote document ready.
Oh, he does?
Because, yeah, he's been trying to
Okay.
work on it while you're talking. So.
okay.
I'm not ready yet. Geez, give me a second.
I thought you said you were.
But yeah,
I thought
I'll
that's
have
what you
it.
said.
Give me a
Sorry.
No, we'll
few
give you a
minutes
break,
and I can
yeah.
get it ready.
We'd rather get it right.
Do we want to go on recess for a minute?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take a break while Ryan calculates everything. Okay, so we are back and I think Dr. Lutzi is on the line. Is he on the line? Okay, so if we could, Brian, we have just a question for you.
There we go. Sure.
And it relates to operating, so it won't be something that we're gonna deal with in this budget vote, but it's something that we're gonna, have the Board of Finance look at. So in the staffing numbers that you have, I think you have down the actuals from last year as like 80203, is that right? In our budget books, where's the
You're
staffing?
on page 16.
Yes, let's look here.
Yeah, 802.03.
Right. But what isn't accounted for is that in your budget for last year, there was a proposal of 795.08. So yes, you're only up 1 year over year or point, what is it? 0.5 year over year in your actuals to proposed budget. But if you took last year's budget of 795.8 to this year's proposal, we're looking at almost, 7 to 8 additional staff year over year from budget to budget. So I think we need to really understand where those additional bodies came in and what the because that's a significant increase year over year from budget to budget.
Sure. I will, as you know, these actuals are based on the October 1, right? As we do when we do our enrollment and our staffing. So
Yeah.
I'd have to take a look, but I'm happy to I'll put something together and we can get together
Right.
and talk about it if you like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That'd be
Sure.
great. Thank you. Okay. I think now I think we're done, right? With Brian.
Yes,
Okay,
thanks.
now we're really done.
I'm only a text away. Thank you.
Okay, thank
Thank you.
you.
Class dismissed.
Okay. So, I think, at this point, we are ready to go through the Board of Selectmen's, approval of the proposed 2026-27 fiscal year budget. And I guess I need to just go through and get votes on individual lines as I'll ask for them. Let's start out with the general fund budget. The total town department operating budget of $43,521,453. Total Board of Education operating and health insurance transfer budget, $118,283,765. Total Board of Education expenses paid by the town budget, $5,679,221. Tax funded capital budget, $1,436,493. Debt service, $12,834,742. Contingencies budget, $722,789. Total library budget, $3,119,000. Transfers and outside agencies budget, $1,330,941. Bringing us to a total general fund operating expenditures budget of $186,928,403. Could I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous. Total general fund revenue budget of $9,262,461. Could I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous. Total fund balance contribution recommendation, $5 million. Could I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous. Amount to be raised by taxation, $172,665,942. Could I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous. And then that ties to the number we approved earlier, to a total general fund operating budget of $186,928,403. That number, as we have spoken about earlier, is we anticipate to see further reductions as this budget moves further along in the process. We need to get more visibility into potential bond premium that could be used to offset this number, as well as a tighter look at some of the resources needed for Waveney and some other things. So if I could get a motion to approve a total general fund operating revenue budget of $186,928,403.
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous. Moving on to the sewer operating capital funds. The sewer fund operating expense budget total is $1,866,477. A sewer non-bonded capital budget of $156,000. Leading to a total sewer fund revenue and expense budget of $2,022,477. Could I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous. Other funds, recreation and wedding fund revenue budget, $1,420,500. Recreation and wedding fund expense budget, $305,720. Parking fund revenue budget, $135,000. Parking fund expense budget, $300,000. Railroad fund revenue budget, $179,600. Railroad fund expense budget, $179,600. Waveney Pool Fund revenue budget, $630,700. Waveney Pool Fund expense budget, $593,324. Movie theater pool fund revenue budget, 0. Movie theater pool fund expense budget, 21,000. Leading to total other funds expense budget of $2,399,644. Could I get a vote?
So moved.
Sorry,
Second.
it's unanimous. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Also would like to mention that the fee memos through this budget are approved as they are submitted. That was done 2 days ago, I believe. This completes the approval process by the Board of Selectmen for the proposed 26-27 fiscal budget. The budget will now be forwarded to the Board of Finance as per town charter. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous. Thank you.